in order to speed up the otherwise boring task of entering metadata for scientific data sets using DEIMS, using the Drupal Ecological Information Management System. Usually, there are a few things that are always constant for all data sets, right? For example, who do we contact, what the organization is, who is providing metadata, who is publishing these things. I'm going to show you, once you have installed an instance of DEIMS and is running, how to make those as default so you save a whole lot of time. So I'm going to share the screen and show you how this works. All right. Hopefully you are seeing my screen now, which is a create dataset screen. And this is a DIMS instance. And this is the form that allows you to enter a new dataset. Here is my title, my dataset title, and along with it, there is a whole lot of information that you have to enter. It could be quite intense. I mean, it might take you anywhere from uh, 30 minutes to maybe just about 20 minutes. It depends on how large this data set is. Now, here's a little bit of savings. I have a little other videos where I discuss what things can you do in order to speed up this process. But in here, I'm going to focus on setting things that are usually the same. So you see in the personnel tab, we have the roles associated with a data set, like who owns it, who is the contact organization or person, who is providing this metadata, who are the publishers for the metadata, and any other roles, right? Um, Usually, at least for the long-term ecological research network, these three roles, contact, metadata provider, and publisher, are always about the same. So let's change that. So in here, instead of showing these blank fields, they are already pre-populated. In order to do so, I'm gonna have to change the fields that are behind this. So I have to be logged in as an administrator or a person with administrator rights, because these are structural changes. Okay, and I'm working on the Consa Prairie LTER instance. Okay, I'm gonna go to the structure menu in the admin menu, content types, data sets, manage fields, and I'm going to go directly to for example, the metadata provider field. Okay, so I'm going to click there, and this is sort of the settings for the field metadata provider, which is one of those three. And in here, you see that there is a default value. This is what you have the chance to set up to a single person or organization. In this case, I'm going to set up to the Consa LTR, which is always going to be the default value for the metadata provider. So I'm going to save the settings, and therefore those are going to be updated for you. And then once this is done, I'm going to move on to another field, which is going to be the in personnel. I'm going to also set default contact person. So I'm going to go edit this field, and likewise, I'm going to choose the Consa LTR as a default provider. So in here again, I'm going to go and get the Consa LTR. As you can tell, it's a autocomplete, so you start typing and it pops out. I'm going to save the settings. When they are saved, I'm going to be returned to the Manage Fields screen of the dataset content type, and which is this one. And then under the Personnel tab or group, I see that I have the last field that I want to set at default, which is the publisher. And I'm going to edit that field, and soon I will see the screen of the defaults and other settings for this publisher field. And the default value, again, I'm going to start typing Consa, and that's what it is. And I save the settings. And now let's test that this works by creating a new data set. And once it's saved, of course. All right, so I'm going to add content data set, and I'm going to access the form to add a new data set to the Consa LTR. then I go to the personnel tab, and voila, the contact has already a default for um, Consa LTR. The metadata provider is already pre-assigned to the Consa LTR, and so is the publisher. And with that, yeah, it saves a little bit of time. It's not like it saves you a lot of time, but it's a good minute or two. And who has time for any other thing, right? Anyway, so that was all for today. Another day, more savings. Ciao.